There's something about the crinkle of a candy wrapper that takes us right back to bike rides down quiet streets, to summer afternoons spent at the corner store, and to that one special treat we'd save our allowance for. Candy bars weren't just sweets. They were little moments of joy wrapped in foil and paper. But over the years, some of our favorites vanished from shelves, replaced by new flavors and trends. You might not see them anymore, but you still remember them. Today, we're looking at 10 discontinued candy bars that deserve a comeback. The forgotten treats that once made our eyes light up and our taste buds dance. Pull up a chair, maybe grab a soda from the fridge, and let's take a sweet trip down memory lane. The Peanut Butter Puzzle. Oh, Henry, the classic version. Back before gourmet meant anything, there was a simple truth. Chocolate, peanuts, caramel, and nougat could solve most problems. And few did it better than the original Oh, Henry bar, not the version you might see today. We're talking about the thick, chewy, no-frills bar from the 1960s and 70s. It wasn't flashy, just a hearty slab of peanutty goodness, coated in milk chocolate that cracked just right when you bit into it. It felt like a reward, the kind of candy your dad might toss you after mowing the lawn. Made by the Williamson Candy Company since 1920, Oh, Henry had a loyal following. But as bigger companies bought up smaller brands, the recipe changed. The texture got softer, the peanuts fewer. By the time Hershey took over, the soul of the bar had faded. It didn't disappear completely. But the classic version, that bold, chunky, satisfying bite, that's long gone. And honestly, we miss it. The chocolate that fought back, Mounds miniatures, the loose ones. If you grew up near the ocean or loved coconut, you knew Mounds was the candy bar that tasted like vacation. Sweet, chewy coconut buried under rich, dark chocolate. It was tropical bliss in your hand. But here's the real treasure. The loose miniature Mounds bars you used to find in big yellow boxes at holiday time. Not the pre-packaged ones in the checkout line. These were loose, clinking together in the box like little chocolate coins. They came out every Christmas and Easter, and opening that box felt like unwrapping a secret. One after another, warm and chewy. They disappeared fast. Then, somewhere in the 2000s, the loose minis quietly vanished, replaced by twin packs and share bags that just didn't have the same magic. Maybe it was packaging costs. Maybe sales dipped. But losing those loose little bars, that wasn't just business. That was the end of a tradition. The Caramel Comet, sugar daddy suckers. Yes, really. Now hold on. You're thinking, wait, aren't sugar daddies just those giant lollipops? Yes, but once upon a time, there was a candy bar version, soft, flat, and packed with gooey caramel. It looked like a pancake made of sugar. Chewy, stretchy, and impossible to eat quickly without getting it stuck in your molars. But oh, was it worth it? Introduced in the 1930s by James O. Welch Company, the Sugar Daddy bar was a cousin to the lollipop, but richer, denser, more indulgent. While the lollipop lasted longer, the bar delivered pure caramel satisfaction in just a few bites. Eventually, the company phased it out, likely because the lollipop was cheaper to make and lasted longer on shelves. But if you ever had one, slowly pulling it apart, savoring each sticky strand, you know what we're missing. This wasn't junk food. It was edible nostalgia. The forgotten twin Zero bar, the real one. Meet the Zero bar, the underrated underdog of the candy aisle. At first glance, it looked plain. Silver wrapper, no flashy logo. But inside, a wild ride of flavors. Caramel, coconut, peanut crunch, and dark chocolate. It was like a carnival in a bar. Sweet, salty, crunchy, chewy, all in one messy, glorious bite. Launched in 1920 by the Pearson Candy Company in Minnesota, the Zero bar had a loyal fan base in the Midwest. Gas stations, school stores, and mom-and-pop shops kept them stocked for decades. But in the 2010s, production slowed. The factory-age demand shifted, and by 2018, the last batch rolled off the line. Sure, you can still find some online or in specialty shops, but it's not the same. That fresh from the factory crunch, gone. And so is a piece of American candy history. The Minty Rebel Top's Mayan mints. Here's one you might not remember, and that's part why it deserves a comeback. The Mayan mints bar wasn't loud. It didn't have commercials or flashy packaging. But if you found one, you remembered it. Dark chocolate, cool mint filling, and a sprinkle of crushed nuts. It was elegant, refreshing, almost fancy, like dessert at a 1970s dinner party. Topps, best known for baseball cards, dabbled in candy in the mid-20th century. They made several short-lived bars, but Mayan Mint stood out for its unique flavor combo. It never caught on nationwide. Maybe mint and chocolate felt too grown-up for kids. Or maybe it just got lost among giants like Snickers and Reese's. Either way, it slipped away quietly, a rare treat that deserved a longer run. The Breakfast of Champions. Heath Toffee Crunch Bar, the thick one. Before Heath became a topping, it was a candy bar, and a mighty fine one. The original Heath bar, thick and ridged like a tractor tire, broke with a crisp snap and melted slowly on your tongue. That buttery toffee center, coated in smooth milk chocolate, was pure comfort. Break off a piece, let it warm in your hand, and feel the sugar crystals dissolve like tiny fireworks. Heath started in 1914 in Massachusetts, made by a small bakery. It stayed local for years before going national. But once big companies took over, the recipe thinned out. The bar got lighter, less crunchy, less real. Now it's mostly crushed and stuffed into ice cream or cookies, which is great. But it's not the same as holding a heavy, satisfying bar in your palm. We don't need another limited edition flavor. We just want the original back, thick, rich, and unapologetically sweet. The space-age surprise Breakaway. Now this one's a true relic. The Breakaway bar looked like it came from the future. Colorful stripes, segmented pieces, and a promise. Break off a piece. Taste a surprise. Each section had a different flavor. Vanilla, strawberry, chocolate. Layer like a rainbow. It wasn't gourmet, but it was fun. Like eating dessert from a cartoon. Introduced by Hershey in the late 1980s. Breakaway was part of a wave of experimental candies. Think neon-colored sodas and fruit-shaped gummies. It was bold, bright, and very of its time. But tastes changed. The layers didn't hold up well in heat. And after a few years, it quietly broke away for good. Still, if you ever cracked one open and tasted that first fruity bite, you smiled. In a world of predictable candy, Breakaway was joyful chaos. The salty legend. Salted nut roll, the old formula. In a world obsessed with sweet, the salted nut roll said, what if we add salt and double the peanuts? And honestly, it worked. A fluffy marshmallow center, packed with roasted peanuts, wrapped in chocolate. It was messy, nutty, and deeply satisfying. Bite into one, and peanut dust would stick to your fingers. You didn't mind. First made in 1933 by the Pearson Candy Company. Same folks behind the Zero Bar. It survived wars, recessions, and changing diets. But in recent years, the formula changed. The peanuts got smaller, the chocolate thinner. Fans noticed. Some say it's not even the same bar anymore. It's still around, barely. But the golden era of the salted nut roll, when each bite felt like a handful of peanuts dressed up for Sunday, that version's gone, and we're still mourning it. The Cherry Phantom Black Cow Taffy Bar. Here's a ghost from the past. The Black Cow Taffy Bar. Not to be confused with a drink. This was a chewy, pinkish red bar with a bold cherry flavor and a hint of chocolate. It stretched when you pulled it, stuck to your teeth, and tasted like summer at the county fair. Made by the Goo Goo Cluster Company. It was regional, popular in the South, but beloved by anyone who tried it. Taffy bars were once common. Think Charleston Chews or Now and Laters. But as gummies and hard candies took over, taffy faded. The Black Cow vanished in the 1990s, a victim of shifting tastes and shelf space. But for those who remember its sweet tart punch and rubbery chew, it's still missed. Sometimes the simplest candies leave the biggest mark. The Lost Giant Marathon Bar. Yes, it was a thing. Before Snickers had its name everywhere. There was a bar called Marathon. Same ingredients, nougat, caramel, peanuts, chocolate, but with a different name and a bolder wrapper. It was sold in the US until 1990. Then, For marketing reasons, Mars Incorporated decided to unify the brand worldwide. So Marathon became Snickers overnight. Just like that, a name with 60 years of history was erased. Older folks still call Snickers Marathon by habit. And if you ask someone from the Midwest or Northeast, they'll tell you the Marathon bar tasted different. Maybe it was a name, maybe it was a pride, but whatever it was, it's gone. And while Snickers is still great, it doesn't carry the same story. Some things shouldn't be renamed. Some legends deserve to keep their names. These candy bars may be gone from store shelves, but they're not forgotten. They live on in lunchbox memories, in stories told at family dinners, and in that little tug of joy when you hear their names. Maybe one day, a company will dig through old recipes, dust off a mold, and bring one of these classics back. Until then, we keep the memories alive, one sweet story at a time. If any of these brought back a smile, let us know in the comments. Which candy bar do you wish would come back? And if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because next week, we're diving into the lost world of Saturday morning cereal commercials. Until then, keep your pockets full and your heart fuller.